It's a pretty sad sight.
You may have passed by the deserted landmark countless times and not looked twice.
I just want to cry.
For good reason.
Why did this building have to wind up like this?
At Robin Hood and Hermitage, Selden Richardson says the glory days have gone off the rails.
The roof is obviously in very bad shape, and it doesn't take a building inspector to tell what's going on here.
The historian is sounding the alarm about the future of a 114-year-old structure.
This is the former Westham train station, built in 1911.
For more than 50 years, the station sat next to the C&O tracks near the Huguenot Bridge.
It was really quite a full-service facility in a very small package.
Westham helped move passengers and freight in and out of central Virginia.
These buildings are not just warehouses somewhere, these are really part of our fabric, part of our history.
But in the early 60s, volunteers with civic groups moved the wooden building to this spot for its second act.
This was your introduction to Richmond.
Part of Traveland, wedged between Parker Field and the interstate, Westham served as the gateway to the River City.
There were locomotives sitting here. It was a playground. A little park surrounded this whole thing. It really must have quite been something.
Thousands of tourists poured through the repurposed station.
Buildings like this are repositories of memory and evocative of memory.
When the visitor center moved out in the 1990s, dilapidation moved in and hasn't left.
The Westham Station is just one of my oldest memories.
Doug Riddell says the wooden building's current state hurts.
Westham Station is where my grandmother came into Richmond.
The former engineer and photographer for Amtrak says the simple structure represents an era when trains moved Americans and powered a nation, decades before highways and air travel as we know it.
In a way, there's a general loss of awareness of what the railroads meant.
Its condition has gotten so much worse that you can tell, even on 95, that it's about to collapse.
Selden Richardson says the city-owned Westham is a classic case of demolition by neglect.
This is a pattern of behavior where a negligent owner will allow a property to become so derelict deliberately that it has to be torn down.
The Richmond native laments the slow death of such an important link that ties us to our roots on rail.
This is what makes history rich. It's not the spoken word, it's not the printed word. It is to be able to see the fabric of the history, the fabric of the past.
These days, the station from a bygone era is crumbling in plain sight.
Well, the condition of the building is what you have when you don't maintain a building for 20 years.
The author says if the city of Richmond will not rescue Westham, it should be sold to someone who will.
And when we lose these anchor points in our history, I think we lose a whole lot as a society. It makes history seem theoretical.
The author, who played a role in saving the Lee Street Armory, envisions the same scenario playing out at Westham.
I'd like to see it moved and restored to its original appearance.
Historians say if more Virginians knew the building's backstory, a preservation effort may gather steam. But for now, Westham is wasting away.
It's lost its purpose. Most people couldn't tell you or had no idea that that was originally a train station.
If nothing is done to shore up the century-old building, retired railroader Doug Riddell fears Westham Station may regrettably reach the end of the line.
The romance of the railroad has been lost as the old buildings disappeared.
For I Have a Story.
Because it is, again, a part of transportation history, local transportation history.
I'm Greg McQuade, CBS 6 News.